Hey everybody. So I selected The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds for my first book, Bento. I loved this process. It was not as easy as I thought maybe going into it that it would be. And I feel like maybe I struggled just a smidge with the lessons and gearing it towards the Common Core standards as someone who's new to thinking of ideas and supporting the classroom setting. I found it a little bit difficult, but also really intriguing. And I found myself going into a little bit of a rabbit hole because I couldn't stop searching for ideas. And so I really appreciate how that opened up my mind to different scenarios and what can be done with different texts. So, really fun exploration of the Common Core standards and how we as future librarians can support our classroom teachers and our public if we're in that realm. So I chose this book because it's so powerful for so many different reasons. The way it's styled, Jason Reynolds' use of words and anagrams and the poetic way he writes is phenomenal. And I think it has really great power to pull people in who are a little bit, to quote Jason Reynolds, afraid of reading, afraid of the words, afraid of the process. And so something like this that can speak to things they might know about, whether it's through personal experience or what they see in the news, has the power to draw them into. So love this book. That discussion that we had on picking our top five, impossible, let me just say that. And so this one probably should be in my top 10 for this semester for sure. So moving on to the props that I chose. I wanted it to be as powerful as possible. So the bullets, I had them facing down for the ones for the representing the people who have already died, the ones coming into the elevator. And then the bottom one, essentially at the bottom floor where we're going to decide, is he coming or is he not? Is he going to join everybody else or is Will going to stay and make a better choice? So I wanted to direct that in a different way to say, there's an option here. He might not go the long way down, but let's see what he decides. So the cigarettes, the smoke is overcoming Will in this elevator. I think for me, what I took away from it, he was clouded by it. It was impeding his ability to pay attention, to be involved, and it was really distracting to him, much like the situation. He couldn't decide what to do. It was consuming him, much like the smoke. So that's the cigarette in my picture. The cologne, the chain, and the caution tape, kind of all, while they were very teeny tiny, barely mentioned part of the book, I think they were really powerful in that it speaks to what we deal with when the grief is left after someone dies, especially in such a tragic way. So Will mentioned the chain hanging around his brother's lifeless body, that he was just like a stained up couch with a gold chain draped around it. He's sitting there staring at his brother's lifeless body, the blood pouring out, and he says that no one should ever see it on the outside. And, so there's that's left behind. The caution tape is put up while everybody is there watching and going through the process of the initial stages of this horrible tragedy. And then everyone leaves, but there's pieces of the tape left behind. And that's all there is that's going to represent his brother in that spot where he took his last breath. The cologne. So there's always that moment where you have to go home after someone has died. Their belongings are still there, but nothing will change. The cologne will go no further in the bottle. And it really, I think, represented Will's raw pain and emotion that he was feeling in reaction to his brother Sean's death. So I really thought that was important to incorporate in this story. Uses for the future. Man, I think this is such a totally awesome idea that could be incorporated in the classroom. I think that it could really promote close reading, and teachers and librarians alike could gear the lesson towards maybe a particular theme spread throughout young adult fiction, maybe using those as anchor texts into bigger projects. But I think this is a really great way of getting students to engage in the reading and to present what they take away from it. So definitely plan on sharing this with the current teachers that I work with and moving forward into my profession as a librarian. I'm totally using this. So thank you for making this a part of our semester. I also see this as a great tool for promoting books on our social media platforms. I have a professional Twitter, but my library also has, which I help run, our library page, and our Facebook. We don't have an Instagram yet, but I think this could really work well on there. So I really see this as a great way to highlight some of the new young adult fiction and nonfiction that we get into our libraries. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about taking this forward, and I'm looking forward to creating the next one geared towards students. Thanks. I hope you liked my little thing links.